My daughter told her friends I was a monster. She spat in my face and hissed, "No one will believe you." I wiped my cheek and glared back. "You don't know what you started." Later that night, she found a note under her door that said, "I'm 48. Widowed by abandonment, not death." My wife, Rachel's mom, walked out on us when our daughter was just 5. She didn't leave a note, no warning. Just said one night, "I can't do this anymore," and walked out the front door like she was going to get milk and never came back. That was in Littleton, Colorado. It destroyed me for a while, but I couldn't afford to fall apart. I had to keep my job, keep the rent paid, and raise a little girl who kept asking where her mommy went. I held her while she cried, told her lies like mommy's just away for a bit, even though I knew the truth. I gave everything to that girl. Worked nights in a shipping warehouse. Came home every morning to make her breakfast. Went to every parent-teacher conference, every school play, every flu shot appointment. I even turned down promotions so I could stay on night shifts and be home in the day. She never went hungry, never lacked clean clothes, never missed a birthday. When she hit middle school, the attitude started. I chalked it up to hormones. But by 15, she turned into a stranger. She'd stay out late, started wearing clothes that screamed, "I want attention," came home smelling like weed and liquor. I'd ask where she was, and she'd say things like, "Don't worry about it, Dad. You wouldn't get it." I tried everything. Grounding, taking her phone, therapy. She walked out of 3 sessions and called the 4th therapist a fake-ass know-it-all. The school called about her skipping classes. One day, the principal left me a voicemail saying Rachel was caught selling someone else's Adderall. She denied it all, of course. Said the principal was just trying to ruin her life. But nothing prepared me for what happened 3 weeks ago. I came home from work, dead tired after a double shift. I just wanted to collapse on the couch and maybe heat up some leftover pasta. Instead, I opened the front door and saw the living room looked like it had been robbed. Glass on the floor. The TV cracked. Couch cushions ripped up. The smell of cheap beer in the air. And there she was, Rachel, sitting cross-legged on the floor, painting her nails. Like nothing happened. What the hell happened here? I asked. She didn't even look up. Just said, "Maybe you had a breakdown and forgot. Or maybe it finally looks like the home of the monster you are." I swear something inside me snapped. "You watch your mouth," I said, louder than I meant to. "I worked myself to the bone to give you this home, and this is how you treat it." She stood up slowly and walked up to me. Got real close. I could smell that sickening mix of perfume, weed, and rebellion. Then, without warning, she spat right in my face. "You're nothing," she hissed. "A sad old man. You can't even control your own kid. No one would believe you if you told them what goes on in this house." I didn't raise a hand. I didn't yell back. I just wiped my cheek, looked her dead in the eye, and said quietly, "You don't know what you started." She smirked and walked away like she won. But that was the last time I let her think she had control. That night, I stayed up. I didn't turn on the lights. Just sat at the kitchen table in the dark, drinking cold coffee and staring at nothing. I remembered every sacrifice I made for her. Every birthday I worked overtime to afford. Every toy I fixed. Every night I held her while she cried over her mom. And now she saw me as a monster. I didn't sleep, just waited. Around 1:30 a.m., I heard her bedroom door creak open. Her footsteps were soft, but I knew them well. She went to the bathroom. I stayed quiet. When she got back to her room, I heard her stop. The silence stretched. Then came the scream. "What the hell?" She ran into the kitchen, holding a folded piece of paper in her shaking hand. "You think this is funny? You trying to scare me or something?" she yelled. I didn't move. "What are you talking about?" I said, dead calm. She threw the note at me. It landed on the table. I picked it up and unfolded it. She watched me like she expected me to laugh. But I didn't. The note was written in her handwriting. But I wrote it. I knew how she looped her GS, how she dotted her is with little angry stabs. Years of signing report cards and field trip slips taught me her penmanship well. The note read, "You think you run this house. You forgot who kept the lights on. You forgot who knows your passwords. You forgot who watched you lie for years. You forgot who taught you how to fake tears. I'm not the monster. You are. Sleep tight." She was pale, scared, It was the first time in years she looked like the little girl I used to know, vulnerable, shaken. "You're sick," she whispered. I stared back, no emotion. Just said, "Go to bed, Rachel." She didn't. She sat in the corner of her room all night, light on, door locked. I heard her pacing, whispering to someone on the phone, probably her friends. I didn't care. The next morning, she didn't go to school. Said she was sick. She didn't talk to me, didn't even look at me, just stared at her plate and picked at the toast. I didn't say a word. That night, I moved to phase 2. The next night, I left for work like normal. Or at least, that's what I let Rachel think. I packed my work bag, put on my reflective vest, even slammed the front door like always. But I didn't leave. I walked around the side of the house, came in through the garage, and sat quietly in the dark laundry room. I had a small baby monitor from years ago when Rachel was little. I'd found it in the basement and hooked it up to the outlet near her room earlier that day. It was just enough to hear muffled sounds. No camera, but sound was enough. She was talking to someone on speakerphone. One of her friends, maybe that girl Tessa, she always sneaked out with. "She's losing it," Rachel said. "He left this creepy-ass note last night, like in my own handwriting. I swear to God, if I go missing, it's him." I clenched my jaw. Then she said something that twisted the knife. "You remember that bruise I had last year? The one I told you was from sheer practice?" I told the school it was from him. They believed me. I could ruin his life whenever I want. All I need is one phone call. She laughed after that. Laughed. My ears started ringing. My hands were shaking. She lied. She planted that idea in people's heads. I remember the school calling me in. I remember the guidance counselor pulling me aside and saying they were concerned about Rachel's safety. I sat in that office, feeling like I was going to throw up. I thought someone at school had hit her, and she lied. To hurt me. That night, I didn't sleep, and I didn't go to work either. I called in sick for the first time in 6 years, and I spent the whole next day setting up. Rachel didn't notice. She was too busy texting, scrolling, watching shows at full volume, slamming the fridge for snacks she didn't buy. But I noticed everything. That night, I shut off the Wi-Fi. At exactly 11:07 p.m. 10 minutes later, I heard her stomp into the hallway. "Dad, the internet's down." I didn't respond. She stormed down the stairs, phone in hand. "Hello." I was sitting in the living room, reading an old book. Calm, quiet. She looked pissed. "Did you forget to pay the bill again?" she snapped. I tilted my head. "No." I turned it off. She blinked. "Excuse me?" I said. I turned it off. She scoffed. "You can't do that. I need it for school. You haven't done schoolwork in months." She opened her mouth, closed it, then shouted, "You're insane." I stood up slowly and said, "I'm not the one faking bruises and accusing my father of abuse." Her face went white. She didn't know I'd heard. "Why you're eavesdropping now?" she stammered. I nodded. I heard everything. The call, the lies, the threats. She backed up toward the stairs. "You're just mad I told the truth." "No," I said. "I'm mad I protected you when you didn't deserve it." She ran back to her room and slammed the door. 2 hours later, I slid another note under her door. This one typed, "You want to play the victim, but I have your messages. I have recordings. I have the school's phone call. I have the bruises you made yourself. I have the photos of your nights out with older men. I saved everything. You think no one will believe me? You're not the little girl who cried wolf. You're the wolf." I waited in the hallway after sliding the paper. She opened the door 5 minutes later, slowly. Her hands were shaking. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "To wake you up." She slammed the door again, but I knew I'd gotten in her head. The next day, she didn't leave her room, didn't scream, didn't demand food, didn't turn on her speaker. Silence. I went to work that night like normal. And when I got home the next morning, I saw that she had gone through the trash. The copy of the note was gone. She had taken it. She was starting to worry. Good, but I wasn't done yet. She needed to learn what betrayal costs. The silence didn't last. 2 days after I left that typed note, I came home from work to find a police cruiser parked outside the house. I stood on the sidewalk for a second, just breathing. I already knew. When I walked inside, Rachel was sitting at the kitchen table, arms folded, face smug. Across from her, a young officer, couldn't have been more than 28, looked up at me like I was a ticking bomb. "You Mr. Lanning?" he asked. I nodded. Yeah, something wrong, officer. Rachel cut in before he could speak. I told him everything. About the notes. About how you've been threatening me. The officer cleared his throat. Sir, your daughter made some claims that we need to take seriously. She says she found threatening notes under her door and believes you're unstable. I looked at Rachel. She smiled at me. A small, tight, evil smile. I turned back to the cop. Did she show you the notes? She said she burned them. Did she mention the fake abuse claims she made at school? The ones they dropped because of a lack of evidence. He blinked. That's not in her statement. Did she tell you I pay all the bills, keep a roof over her head, and that she's been skipping school, using drugs, and lying for months? He looked at Rachel, then at me. That's not what she told us. I stepped aside and said, You want to search the house? Go ahead. You'll find nothing. The cop stood up, awkward. At this time, we're not pursuing anything. This was just a welfare check. No evidence, no warrant. But if we get another call, I understand, I said. Thank you. He left. Rachel followed him to the door and gave him her sweet, innocent face. Thanks for coming, officer. I just didn't know what else to do. She shut the door. Turn around. Did you really think that would work? I said. She shrugged. You're losing it. Sooner or later, they'll believe me. That night, I logged into the hidden folder I'd made on an old USB drive. See, while she was out partying, I was watching, documenting, saving everything. Photos of her coming home at 3 a.m., stumbling drunk. Screenshots of messages she'd sent from her Instagram burner account, threatening teachers, bullying classmates, even bragging about driving her dad crazy for fun. Audio clips of her screaming at me, cursing, telling me she hoped I'd die so she could take the house. All time-stamped. All saved. I emailed a copy to myself. Then I emailed a copy to someone else. Her vice principal. 3 days later, the school called. Left a voicemail. Mr. Lanning, we received some deeply troubling material. We'd like to schedule a meeting to go over some of Rachel's behavior. Please call us back. I didn't tell Rachel. I just waited. That night, she came storming into my room. What did you do? She yelled. Excuse me. You sent them my messages? My photos? I sat on the edge of my bed, folding socks. I told you this wasn't a game. She started crying, but not the way people cry when they're hurt. She cried like someone who just lost control of the wheel. You ruined my life, she shouted. You made me look crazy. I stood up. No, Rachel. You made you look crazy. I just showed them the truth. She ran back to her room and slammed the door. But I knew what was coming next. She was going to retaliate. And she did. The next morning, I got a call from my boss. He didn't sound happy. Glenn, we got a situation. Someone called in an anonymous tip saying you'd been stealing from the warehouse. Said you were hiding stuff in your garage. My heart dropped. What? I don't believe it. But corporate wants to do a surprise audit. They're sending someone over in 2 hours. I hung up, walked into the garage. Sure enough, there it was. A big box labeled Property of Duraship Logistics sitting in the corner. I didn't put it there. She did. I didn't touch it. I took pictures. Then I called the police myself. When they showed up and opened the box, they found it filled with random electronic parts. Barcode. From our warehouse. I looked them straight in the eye and said, check the security cameras. There's one over the garage. I didn't bring that box here. They did. And sure enough, there she was. Rachel, 3:22 a.m., dragging the box in from the trunk of her friend's car. They arrested her, not me. But that's not where this ends. Because while she was in holding for the night, they found something else. Something worse. On her phone. A group chat. Messages. Plans. And a list. A list with my name on it. And one word next to it. Erase. The word erase next to my name changed everything. I was angry before. I was hurt. I felt betrayed. But when the detective showed me that message on her phone, my blood ran cold. This wasn't just a rebellious teenager anymore. This was a girl who wanted her own father gone. When they questioned her, she laughed. Said it was a joke. Said it was just a stupid list. But nobody in that station was laughing. Especially not me. They held her overnight. And when she got out, things hit rock bottom. She didn't come home. Disappeared for 4 days. I didn't call her. I didn't report her missing. I figured she'd run to one of her trashy friends or couch hop like she used to. Let them deal with her. On day 5, She came back. I was in the garage, fixing a broken drawer when I saw her car pull up. She slammed the door and walked toward me like she still had power in this house. Her eyes were dead cold. "You think you won?" she said. I didn't answer. She stepped closer. "You're gonna regret turning on me." And I finally lost it. Not by shouting, not by hitting, not by threatening. I pulled a folder from under my workbench and held it up. "I already regret protecting you." She snatched it from my hand and opened it. Inside was everything. Copies of texts, photos, her fake accounts, printouts of the school emails, police reports, everything. "This is going to the family court," I said. She froze. "I'm filing for emancipation on your behalf," I added. "You don't want to be my daughter? Fine. You'll be on your own. Legally. Financially. You'll be 17 in 2 months. A judge will fast-track it. You'll be cut off from everything. No health insurance. No house. No food. No car. And I already reported your name to the school board. Every college will see your behavior." She looked like someone slapped her. You can't do that. You can't just dump your own kid. You already did that when you lied about me, tried to ruin my job, planted stolen goods, and made a death list. "I'll go to Mom," she said, voice shaking. I nodded. "I hope you do." Her eyes widened. I walked to the corner of the garage and pulled out a box, one she'd never seen before. Inside was a flash drive, a copy of the old voicemail her mother left me the night she left. I'd saved it, never showed it to Rachel. Until now, I played it through a small speaker. "Glenn, I can't take her anymore. I'm Soda. She lies. She manipulates. She scares me. I think there's something wrong with her. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around my own child. I can't live like this anymore." Rachel's face dropped. "I didn't leave you," I said. "She left you." She stared at me in silence. And for the first time in years, she didn't scream, didn't argue, didn't pretend to be the victim. She just walked away. The next morning, I dropped off the paperwork for the emancipation filing. I also forwarded everything to CPS and a contact I knew at the district. Rachel tried to come home again 2 days later. The locks had been changed. I spoke to her through the Ring camera. "You're not welcome here anymore. You're my dad," she yelled. "You fired me from that job a long time ago." She stood there for 10 minutes, trying to say something, anything that might work. But she had used up every lie, every threat, every ounce of fake love. She left. It's been 8 months since that day. She's been couch surfing from what I hear. Tried to enroll in a GED program, but got kicked out for harassment. Burned through all her old friendships. I still get the occasional text from block numbers calling me a monster. But they don't matter. I rebuilt my life. Got promoted at work. Took a vacation for the first time in 10 years. Started seeing someone casually. I even started volunteering at a local center for parents with troubled teens. I don't preach. I just listen. Sometimes that's enough. As for the folder, I keep in a locked drawer, just in case. A reminder. Some monsters aren't born. They're made. And some daughters don't need saving. They need to lose everything before they understand what they had. I still love her, but I don't miss her. And I sure as hell don't fear her anymore.